cross live to Abuja, Nigeria's capital, where currently the Minister of Information and Culture, Lia Mohammed, he's addressing a press conference on the state of the nation. Listen.
Today's pains won't endure, but the new Nigeria that will emerge from our efforts will surely do. The people on the other side say infrastructure is not important. In their derisive posturing, they ask, "Na infrastructure we will chop." But they have forgotten the role of infrastructure in economic development via higher productivity and service delivery, job creation and poverty alleviation, just to mention a few. Little wonder they frittered away the resources of the Commonwealth instead of using such to develop our infrastructure during their time in the saddle. We are proud that in our time, Nigerians are once again able to travel by train, this time in total comfort and safety. Lagos Ibadan, Abuja Kaduna, Warri Takpe Ajaokuta, and Abuja Metro Line are shining examples of our rail revolution. And we are just getting started. We have the rehabilitation of the Borakot-Maiduguri Eastern Narrow Gauge Railway project that goes through rivers Imo, Anambra, Benue, Enugu, Ebonyi, Gombe, Yobe, Adamawa, and Borno states, and the Bonny, Deep Sea, and Railway Industrial Park. We have the Kano-Maradi Standard Gauge Line that passes through some economic hubs of the country, including Kazaure, Daura, Katsina, and up to the border town of Jibia and the city of Maradi in the Niger Republic. We are proud of the integrated national security and waterways protection infrastructure, also known as Deep Blue Asset, aimed at managing, controlling, and protecting Nigerian waterways towards the advancement of coastal prosperity. We are proud that in our time, long abandoned roads and bridges are either being repaired or built anew. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which is due to be completed this year, is already offering a joyful ride to happy motorists, saving lives and man-hours in the process. Among others, we have already delivered the following routes: the 26-kilometer Nnewi-Uduma Road, sections 1 and 2 in Enugu and Ebonyi states, 100-kilometer Kano-Maiduguri Road, section 2, Shuwari to Azari in Jigawa and Bauchi states, the 106-kilometer Kano-Maiduguri Road, section 3, Azari Potiskum in Bauchi and Yobe states, 24-kilometer Bandekia-Obudukatu Ranch Road, phases 1 and 2 in Benue and Cross River states, and the 304-kilometer Sokoto-Tambua, Jega, Kontogora, Makera Road. These are just a part of the over 800 ongoing road and bridge projects covering 13,000 kilometers, and 37 of these bridges are undergoing maintenance and repairs that have been due for decades in the country. In fact, there are at least one road or bridge project in every state of the Federation as we speak going on. We are proud that in our time, the second Niger Bridge, which they had built on paper several times, is almost ready for delivery. In addition to the second Niger Bridge, we have built or repaired the following among others: Ecom Bridge in Cross River, Local Oweto Bridge in Nasarawa, Ibi Bridge in Taraba, and Bamenda Info Bridge linking Nigeria and the Cameroons. Chatangi Bridge along Taku Bukari Road in Taraba. Kotonkarfi Bridge in Kogi State. Bodo Boni Road / Bridge in Rivers. We are proud that in our time, we have delivered housing units in 34 states, and they are being commissioned as we speak. They claim that our projects were started by them. And we say, even when this is clear misinformation, of what use are projects started and never completed, if not a strategy for looting the Commonwealth? We have now delivered 4 state-of-the-art new airport terminals in Abuja, Kano, Lagos, and Port Harcourt. While they left the aviation industry in tatters during their time, we have turned things around. We have constructed and installed Boeing 737 full motion flight simulator at the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology in Zaria. A development that will save Nigeria millions of dollars spent in the retraining of pilots in other countries. We have installed a fully automated aircraft firefighter training simulator, also at the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, the first of its kind in Africa. We are refleeting the NCAT with trainer aircraft, and we have already delivered 6 aircraft so far. We have installed novel Category 3 ILS DME at Lagos and Abuja airports. These instruments will allow flights to land at low visibility. We have procured 2 mobile control towers in Lagos and Abuja, and designated 4 international airports in Abuja, Kano, Lagos, and Port Harcourt as special economic zones, aimed at encouraging business investment. We are about to kickstart the construction of the 2nd runway for the airport in Abuja. Recall that the only runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport here in Abuja was left dilapidated until this administration repaired it. The globe that Nigerians are suffering under our watch. But we say that while they lay the groundwork for today's suffering with their mismanagement of national resources, at a time of plenty, we have introduced unprecedented measures to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians, especially the very vulnerable. Our National Social Investment Program, NSIP, is the biggest of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. The Empower benefits 1 million people. The Government Enterprises and Empowerment Program, which comprises of market money, farmer money, has benefited 4 million people. The National Homegrown School Feeding Program is providing quality meals daily to 10 million primary school pupils, in addition to empowering over 100,000 cooks and the same number of smallholder farmers in the local areas where the schools are located. The Household Uplifting Program, HUP, which has the conditional cash transfer as its flagship intervention, provides 5,000 naira monthly grants to almost 2 million eligible households across the country, in addition to the 1 million urban poor who are benefiting from the conditional cash transfer under the directive of Mr. President to further expand the program due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Gentlemen, all producing countries are today smiling to the banks as oil prices are on the rise. Unfortunately, we cannot reap the full benefit of the windfall because of years of neglect of the oil industry. For years, the opposition could not stimulate growth in the oil industry because they refused to put in place the petroleum industry law. Better late than never, they say. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari last year signed into law the Petroleum Industry Bill, now the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. The PIA is envisaged to foster investment in the industry and delegate responsibilities to the various institutions. This is a monumental achievement in the critical oil and gas sector. Today, new businesses are springing up in all sectors, thanks to a conducive business environment. Under this administration, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, has implemented over 150 reforms, moving Nigeria up 39 places on the World Bank Doing Business Index since 2016. Mr. President also signed the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, CAMA 2020, Nigeria's most significant business legislation in 3 decades. The result of this favorable business environment is the birth of new businesses, such as the $2.5 billion Dangote fertilizer plant, which was commissioned just last week. This plant will produce 3 million metric tons of urea every year. Of course, there is also the 650,000 barrels per day oil refinery due to open later this year. Lekki Deep Sea Port, one of the most modern seaports in West Africa. There's Buhari'S 3 million metric ton cement plant in Sokoto, and the 5,000 barrels per day modern refinery in Ibigwe, Imo State, and 3 more modular refineries to be commissioned before May 2023 in Edo and Bayelsa states, just to mention a few. While they frittered away the nation's resources, importing rice and other staples, this administration has worked progressively to ensure our food security as a nation. Today, rice production in Nigeria has increased to over 7.5 million metric tons annually, thanks to the Anchor Buhari'S program, APB. Before the program, the average production in Nigeria between 1999 to 2015 was less than 4 million metric tons annually. Before this administration launched the Anchor Buhari'S program, there were only 15 standard rice mills in Nigeria. As of today, we have over 50 standard and integrated rice mills, creating jobs and reducing unemployment. Across Nigeria, more than 4.8 million smallholder farmers have so far been supported by the Anchor Buhari'S program, with resultant increase in the production of 23 agricultural commodities, including maize, rice, oil palm, cocoa, cotton, cassava, tomato, and livestock. In the words of Mr. President, during the launch of the rice pyramid in Abuja, the Anchor Buhari'S program is working. End of quote. There's no doubt that Nigeria is making steady and assured progress towards self-sufficiency in food production. In fact, no government has invested in agricultural revolution like the Buhari administration. The opposition say, but Nigerians are still hungry, and the price of the staples is still high. Our response is that the impact of our agricultural revolution will soon be felt on dining tables across the country. In this regard, we want to appeal to our farmers to be more patriotic by not allowing foreigners to buy their commodities at farm rates. they should reciprocate the support being given to them by the federal government by slowing down on exports in order to increase the supply of local staples and also reduce prices. Gentlemen, I'm proud of our security forces, our men and women in uniform. Despite a myriad of security challenges, they are living up to the billing. The recent string of successes recorded in the fight against Boko Haram and ISWAP is uplifting. As terrorists and their camps are being decimated, thousands of terrorists and their families are surrendering in droves. The effectiveness of the security forces has been enhanced by the leadership provided by President Muhammadu Buhari and the unwavering commitment of the armed forces and its leadership. The procurement of modern platforms for the armed forces has also gone a long way in raising the level of their operational readiness and efficiency, in addition to boosting their capabilities. Among others, the Nigerian Army has procured 160 MRAPs, 150 trucks, and 60 APCs to improve its equipment holding. This is in addition to the provision of accommodation for troops and the recruitment of about 10,000 personnel into the army. The Nigerian Navy, for its part, commissioned the Falcon Eye Maritime Domain Awareness Capability, the third locally built seaworld defense boat. Commissioned 1 helicopter, 4 inshore patrol boats, and 90 rigid hull inflatable boats. About 1,500 personnel were recruited into the Navy during the year. The Nigerian Air Force, through delivery of 12 Super Tucanos and 3 JF-17 Thunder fighter aircraft and other platforms with which it has conducted several air interdictions, provided close air support to ground troops, and destroyed several illegal structures and equipment belonging to terrorists, bandits, and other criminal elements. The security forces have also taken the battle to the bandits and put them on the run. The effect is our country is becoming safer every day. Yes, we still have occasional attacks by the bandits, but their ranks have been decimated by the day by our unrelenting security forces. Still on the fight against insecurity, the implementation of the community policing initiative of the current administration has led to the training of 25,000 constabularies in several police colleges across the country. The successful officers who were trained on basic police duties, modern intelligence gathering techniques, rule of law, etc., were deployed to their local governments of origin to aid in intelligence gathering and improve police visibility in their communities. Also, in an effort to improve the police-citizens ratio, 418 cadet officers of regular constabulary were successfully graduated in June last year and deployed into the operational assets of the Nigerian Police Force. Through the Police Trust Fund, 200 Buffalo-branded vehicles, bulletproof vests, protective helmets, drugs and medical equipment, as well as arms and ammunition, riot control equipment, and combat equipment were procured for the police special weapon and tactical squad. Recall, gentlemen, that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the review and upgrade of police personnel salaries by 20%, in addition to enhanced duty toll allowance and tax waiver in the sum of 18.6 billion naira for junior officers to increase the take-home pay. The last issue I want to address is the figures being bandied around by the folks on the other side and a section of the press, comparing the prices of some foodstuffs, such as petrol, diesel, pre-2015 and now. The misuse of data is clear mischief. This misuse of data is clear mischief. Those who bandy around these figures without putting them in context are being clever by half. Let's take the price of foodstuff and petrol, for instance. Google the price of foodstuff in other countries, in Africa, and even in the UK and the US, and you will discover a steep rise. Ditto for the price of gas or petrol. What we are saying is that this increase is a global trend, and it is not limited to any country. Therefore, presenting it as a Nigerian problem is mischievous, disingenuous, and a clear act of misinformation. Let me add that the crippling fuel shortage experienced across the country in recent times happily has started easing as the measures put in place by the government has begun to work. Gentlemen, we have consistently showcased the massive achievements of this administration in all sectors, even as we admit the challenges we face and work hard to ameliorate things. But against the resort to lies and misinformation by the opposition, it is absolutely necessary for us to dispel their misrepresentation of facts and put things in perspective, which is what we have done today. We're not under any illusion that they will stop their misrepresentation. No, because in their desperation to return to complete their demolition work on Nigeria, these folks will stop at nothing to paint us bad. But the good news is that Nigerians remain traumatized by their 16-year mission and have vowed never to return to Egypt by allowing the demolition gang back to office. In the meantime, let them present their 16-year stewardship in all the areas we have listed above and let Nigerians judge. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we are now moving into the question and answer session. Please, like I said earlier, we will appreciate if you restrict your questions to the issues addressed by the Honorable Minister. Please, the use of vulgar language is not acceptable here, please. Just understand that. At this point, I want you to let the floor open for your questions, please. Please, we'll take 2 or 3 questions, please. Okay. Number 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. And now, please, let's take the first question, please.
Thank you. My name is Lia Mohammed, Nigerian student. The Honorable Minister, now the argument the opposition is going forward, from what I understand, is that from what they handed over to you, 2015, Nigerians can barely recognize the institution. For instance, they say they handed over to you 2015 a 550 billion naira economy, which was at the time the largest in Africa. But then the country has assumed the position of the poverty capital of the world. They say the exchange rate they gave you in 2015 was 189 naira to the dollar. But today we are inching towards 587. They also argue that at the time we took over from them, the unemployment rate was 7.3%. And the price of petrol, you say it's a worldwide situation. But again, they talk about the debt portfolio that you meant in 2015, which has now risen to about 33 trillion. And also, the issue of NSAS. The opposition say that if there is hardship in the country, that if the government does not check the hardship, they stand the risk of witnessing that NSAS.
Yes, if the government doesn't check the hardship of the NSAS, the threats.
In fulfillment of their role as the opposition. So my question, sir, Honorable Minister, is if the opposition cannot question the government power, what will no matter how they do, what role do you think they should play as an opposition? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Please, let us take this response so that
You see, clearly, this question of yours was prepared long before this press conference. Absolutely. No, absolutely. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Otherwise, absolutely. You see, honestly, otherwise, there's absolutely no issue if race has not been taken care of. And I'll take that one by one. The opposition saying they handed over a 500 billion economy, the price of petrol, the foreign exchange, full stop. I asked them, what infrastructure did they leave behind? How many kilometers of roads did they leave behind? How many kilometers of railroad did they leave behind? At the time of plenty, and I said it here, when they had the money, when petroleum was selling for almost $100 for more than 10 years, what did they do with it? They filtered it away. If we left a sound economy, if we left behind a sound economy, a sound infrastructure, we'll not be building we'll not be completing the 30-year-old Itakpe Warri. We'll not be building a brand new standard gauge way from Lagos to Ibadan. We will not. How many times have they, on paper, launched the Niger Bridge, the second Niger Bridge? How many times did they re-award the Lagos Ibadan Express? You see, and I said, we were in opposition, but we were viable, we were vibrant, and we did not seek to destroy Nigeria. Anybody in Nigeria today, whether political party or individual, that is wishing for another answer does not deserve to rule this country. And this is why I said your question was prepared long before you came out. That if you read this text, every issue you raised has been addressed. Nobody is took this, and I said, we are not saying that the opposition should not criticize, but they should not promote anarchy. That we never promoted anarchy in our time. And I said, this is not the first time they are going to do this, but we will continue to come here and defend our position, whether in the area of security, whether in the area of infrastructure. After all, tell me a single security challenge we did not inherit from them. Was it Boko Haram? Was it banditry? Was it militancy? We inherited everything from them. So we are proud of our record. They wrecked the economy, we are rebuilding it. They wrecked the infrastructure, we are rebuilding it. And I said, today, even many of them, they travel in comfort from Lagos to Ibadan by train, and they go back. They will not talk about it. Many of them benefit from our NCIP, from our conditional cash transfer, from the 10 million people who enjoy our 1 million a day. They are not APC people alone. They are Nigerians. So we are very, very proud of our achievements. Then don't forget that when they left, 21 states could not pay. When they left the economy so badly. The people that are talking about they left a 500 billion economy. They left 21 states that could not pay salaries of their staff, which this government bailed out. I think they should stop. We are still alive. And how people are alive is should stop writing history while we are still alive. Thank you.
But again, they are also practicing this figure, and that's a single digit question. For you in 2015, that is at 9.01. Today, it's
single digit inflation.
Almost two digits. I don't know how we was with this. And then talking about energy, particularly petrol, Nigerians are beginning to wonder what happened between the last couple of months and today. You sustained petrol availability for over 7 years. Suddenly,
Petrol availability, petrol scarcity.
what is the government doing to rescue Nigerians from this situation? Food-induced inflation that has impacted negatively on the lives of Nigerians, and then the petroleum availability, which has, is getting eroded.
Inflation on petrol products.
Thank you very much. You see, again, if you please read carefully the text of this press conference. I said they are banding figures and statistics, but out of context. Inflation is a global issue. Please Google and look at what was the inflation rate in any part of the country in 2020. What is it today? They spoke about refinery. About petroleum. And we have already answered them that if only they did the needful, we will be among the countries in the world today benefiting from the increase in the crude prices. But because they failed to do the needful, in 16 years they were unable to bring about one single, turnaround maintenance that will allow us to be self-sufficient in refined petroleum. So what we have today is that we are still importing, refined product. And it is on record that this administration, it might look small, but we have already commissioned one modular refinery. We have 3 on the way, and we hope by the time we leave that the major, maintenance being carried out in the Buhari'S refinery would have reached an advanced stage. So you see, it's like somebody that came and destroyed something, progressively over 16 years, and they expect us in 7 years to have cleaned up the mess. We're trying our best. We are rising stoutly to the, to the challenges, but it's not in the mouth of a bedwetter to be abusing the washerman. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amaka Ude. Honorable Minister.
Go ahead.
I'm concerned really about your position, and it was being branded across the media space. But I'm more concerned about the data and the hunger in Nigeria. You have admitted the fact that things are not as rosy as they have. So my question to you this afternoon is: are you satisfied with what you have done as an administration to really ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians, especially looking at all the data when it comes to food inflation, when it comes to trying to get petrol and other negative indices that we're seeing? Are you satisfied as an administrator? If the answer is no, what more do you think to make sure that Nigerians really the suffering that we're seeing is ameliorated in the shortest time possible, and even before the 2023 elections? Thank you.
Amaka said it again. I'm very proud of this administration's efforts in alleviating the sufferings of Nigerians. Before we came, there was nothing called NSIP. Before we came, nobody thought that you could even alleviate poverty by providing free meals to pupils in schools. Today, we feed 10 million pupils across Nigeria with 1 meal a day. And it's the biggest in Sub-Saharan Africa. Today, we give 5,000 naira conditional cash transfer to more than 2 million households in rural areas and 1 million in the urban area. Not individuals, but households. This administration is on record to have looked into the issue of non-employed graduates and even unemployed non-graduates. That's why we have Empower that has, soaked up to 1 million people. You see, if only we met a foundation like this, we would have built on it. And then everybody talks about hardship. It's a global phenomenon. Tell me one country in the world where it's rosier in 2022 than 2015. I will continue to meet with the challenges. We have security challenges, we have health challenges, we have pandemic. But the beauty of it is that this government is daily, standing up and addressing these issues. And what Nigerians must appreciate is that this administration is laying such a foundation for a Nigeria that I know that in a few years' time, those who are business will come back and praise us. Why do I say this? But for the enabling environment this administration has provided, there will be no Dangote fertilizer company that we went to commission. And I'm glad that at that, commission, Dangote expressed his personal gratitude to federal government in the area of security. Later this year, we are going to inaugurate the 650,000 barrel a day petroleum refinery of Dangote. Again, this will change the entire economic landscape. Without an enabling environment, this will not be possible. I read earlier here that the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Committee has undertaken 150 reforms that has made business easier for everybody. That is why it's possible for you today to register your company online without coming to Abuja. All this was not there before. I read out the various infrastructural developments that has taken place under this administration. The roads we started and completed, the ones we took over and completed. So whether it's in security, whether it's in food, and I told you in food before we came here. What was the production of rice in Nigeria? It was under 4 million metric tons a year. Today, we are producing 7.5 metric tons of rice a year. How many rice mills do we have? 15. Today we have 50. So we are proud of our achievement. If you give me one country in the world where the government has overcome all its challenges, and I will say I won't go there. Then Nigeria is fast becoming self-sufficient rather in agriculture. Can you imagine what situation would have been if our rice production still remained at under 4 million metric tons per annum? Well, I can tell you that we would have been dependent on imported foods. And go to the other neighboring countries and ask, what the situation is. And this is why I made the appeal to our farmers to please be more patriotic. because we now today feed the entire West Africa. Anybody that goes by road from from Sekutonu to Burkina Faso, you see the Nigerian, you see trucks carrying Nigerian rice, Nigerian maize. And we are praying to them. Yes, they have the right to sell it to what to sell, but they should not forget that but for the Buhari'S program, they will not be making what they are making today. 4,800 plus farmers have benefited one way or the other from our Buhari'S program, not just in rice, in maize and other things. So, to answer your question, Amaka, I'm very proud of our achievement. Thank you very much.